And welcome to Paxton Road preview show, Southampton versus Tottenham Hotspur at the Saint Marys Stadium tomorrow, 3 p.m. kickoff. Joining me to preview the game is the one and only Sean Hurl at Tottenham. What does it say?
Tottenham Tifosi 61, my new Twitter handle.
Tottenham Tifosi 61, and making a run for it. He's getting his headphones in his ears. He's getting ready. It's the one, the only, the man who's come back with a tan from the Dominican Republic is Mr. Sam Spurs for life. Good evening, Sam. Good evening, Sean. How are we tonight?
Yeah, just checking which cameras you're gonna like. What position you're gonna put me in.
Happy new St. Patrick's Day.
Happy New Year.
Cheers, everyone. Top of the morning to you.
There you go. There you go. So for everyone celebrating happy St. Patrick's Day today, have a good one. Don't get too drunk. And just like to welcome everyone in our comment section as well. Please leave your comments in the section regarding the game, regarding last week's game as well, if you want to. Or we can just talk about tomorrow's game, what's going to happen. And 3 points. Is it going to be at the St. Marys Stadium? So, boys, it's been an eventful week. Beat Nottingham Forest last week. We've had a whole week of Conte training with the players. We've seen videos, footage of him, Poro scoring some madness goals. No fresh injuries. According to Conte, everyone apart from the ones that are expected to be out are out. And no fresh injuries. So, Sean, no fresh injuries. Everyone, same squad as last week. What are we expecting?
We're probably expecting the same team as last week.
We'll discuss that.
I think. Yeah, I mean, it's quite clear that we're not going to see the players that would really make a difference to our season, like Benton back this year. And we've just got to plough on, a winnable game on paper. Unfortunately, football is played on grass, so it means nothing. And given the season that gives us United losing 7-0 to Liverpool, who then promptly go and lose 1-0 to Bournemouth, who you can expect anything and everything tomorrow at the St. Marys. Our record is not so good, I don't think. It's patchy, to say the least, in spite of the Spurs official videos this week showing wonderful moments at St. Marys. They seem a bit few and far between to me, other than the Jose destruction is the only one I can remember of recent years.
Sam?
Yeah, I thought we had a pretty decent record against Southampton, I must admit. Just what was the actual question? What did you actually pose? What we expecting? What's the expectation for tomorrow?
Yeah, expectations for tomorrow, because we've had a clean week of training, no midweek games, no fresh injuries, and Conte saying that everything's gone well in training. I've got no fresh injuries, nothing to worry about. So do you think it will be the same as last Saturday and continue that?
Yeah, barring any injuries, I think it'll be as Sean said, it'll be the same team. I think the expectations are that, I think they've reached pretty much a watershed moment. They had, similar to last season, the Burnley moment. They've had that now. It seems like everything's out in the open. Everybody knows what's going on. You're going to introduce the lovely jewel in the crown before I go on. Introduce her. Go on.
Especially for you.
There she is.
Hi, guys.
Pav. Good evening, Pav. How are we?
The rose amongst us thorns.
Good.
Yeah. How are you guys?
Amongst roses and thorns over that side. Do you know what you can't see? This side is roses. That side is thorns. What are you talking about? Anyway, let me continue before Sean starts.
Sorry.
What was I saying? No, I think my expectations are that they've had clear the air talks, and I reckon that's pretty much high up. I think Conte knows what he's doing next season. I think everybody within the club knows what he's doing next season, apart from us. And they're just going to probably try, as we've discussed before, to get the best out of what's left of this season, similar to what happened last season. I expect us to play well enough to win tomorrow. I expect us to have had enough preparation time. The excuses before were too many games, not enough preparation. Well, there's no excuse now. We know the midfielders who are out. We know the players that are not going to be able to play. We know the players that are now motivated. Richarlison's motivated. Kulusevski now should be looking to get him back himself of Richarlison. Son, he's a man of his own. He can get to play whenever he wants, but he's been dropped, so maybe he could get dropped again tomorrow. What they have to do now is just play each game as it comes. Bit of a cliche, but if they do that, I can see us winning the next few games. It's going to be a tough ask when we go to Everton, but we should be beating Southampton and we should be beating Bournemouth when we come to play them, in my opinion.
Cool. Pav, just before you joined us, we were just talking literally about we've beat Forest last week, and then we've had a whole week of preparations, and there's no fresh injuries. So I posed the question to Sean and Sam: do you think it'll be the same team, and do we just carry on from last Saturday?
Yeah, I think in terms of the team, I have a feeling that he will after the game, like the last game, I think he will put out the same team. I have a feeling that he will end up starting Richarlison, which I am kind of hoping he does. Yeah, especially because there's no other injuries as well. I think it will be the same. Maybe he might. What about what's happening with Royale? Is he back? What's going on with him?
He said there's no fresh injuries, so I'm assuming he should. I think he's been back in training this week, so I think it was just a slight niggle last week. But
okay,
we will find out.
So maybe he might keep him on the bench and then so maybe he might keep him on the bench then and then bring him on after. But yeah, I have a feeling it'll be the same team as last game.
Cool. So let's get to this. Okay. So Southampton versus Spurs preview. Okay. And here we go. So the league table as it stands: Arsenal on 66 points, Manchester City on 61 points, Manchester United on 50 points, Spurs on 48, Newcastle are playing tonight on 42 points. Then you have Liverpool on 42, and bottom of the table on 22 points is Southampton. Right. So I'm going to ask you this question, and I like asking questions today because it's all going to be question time today. How important are these 3 points now? Because if we win tomorrow, I know Man United are playing in the FA Cup. If we win tomorrow, we go third, right? So how massive is the points tomorrow? Pav?
All the games are important now, but if we can go third, but then again, I know you said that Man United are playing in the FA Cup, but then again, don't they have like a game in hand anyway from us?
Yes, they've got a game in hand. Yeah,
I think either way, we do need to get the points because getting third would be wicked, but all games are important now to get into the top 4 anyway. So I think my answer is yes.
Cool. Sean, 3 points a must tomorrow, looking at this table and potentially going third.
Yeah, football at this, this is like the business end of the season, as they say. This is where Ferguson's United would just go on a run in history, and then where Pep's City seem to really step on the gas. It's all psychological. Yes, we'll have played 2 games more than Manchester United by this time tomorrow, but for us to be in third, it's all about chipping away, and putting distance between us and the teams following us. Also, reminding Manchester United and Manchester City that we're back amongst them, and it is an incredible idea that this time tomorrow night we could be third in the Premier League, given the dog poo of football we've had this season.
Yeah.
But you always have that doubt, don't you, when we're expected to win.
That's Tottenham Hotspur Football Club for you, mate. That's Tottenham Hotspur
but it would be great if if they can, if they could go third, yeah, and just I mean, how many times have you said, Sid, and Sam as well, and probably Pav? The points are, you'd rather have the points on the board than have to play the games.
100%. 100%. I totally agree with you. Points is always more important than games, because them games are going to come at you thick and fast, and then you're going to be under pressure, and then sometimes it doesn't work. Sam, how important are the 3 points tomorrow?
Obviously, they're important, very important from a perspective of the incentive that we have. But because of the cushion that we've got, it's not disastrous if you get a draw. It depends on how they play. It depends on the approach from Southampton. Now, I think they lost their last home game when they played, so they're going to be looking to get a win. They're bottom of the table. Will that play into our hands? How are they going to set up? Are they going to be attacking like they did in the game against us? And it worked for a little bit, and then we got to grips with it, and we scored 5 goals in that game, whatever it was. But tomorrow they're going to be fragile. They've got to get points on the board. A draw's not good enough for them in this situation. So I'm expecting them to be cagey in the first 15, 20 minutes. If the score's 0-0, they'll probably keep it tight, but then they are going to try to get that goal. They are going to try to attack where possible. I think they're going to be pressing us. And I think if we're good enough tomorrow with the players that we've got, we'll bypass the press. We'll get players who are motivated to score, like Richarlison. We've got players on the bench who can come off, depending on who it will be, Son, Kulusevski, Danjuma. And we've also got enough strength in that defensive area. If Porro starts, we've got Emerson to come on. My only concern is that left-hand side. I don't know what we can do about changing that, because Perisic, as you said, is dead food, fam. Dead food.
100%. Right, let's move on. And I've lost my slide. Okay. So, position, Southampton 20th, Spurs 4th. 6 wins to Southampton, 15 to Spurs, 4 draws to them, 3 draws to us. 17 they've lost. We've lost 9. This is the bit Sam loves. 0.74 average goals scored per match. We've scored 1.81. They're conceding 1.59. We're conceding 1.37. So, not that much difference in that one. 4 clean sheets as to our 9. Chances created, 1.7 to them, 1.48 to Spurs. What's interesting, our biggest win is against Leicester. Our worst defeat is against Leicester. Sam, talk to me about your favourite bits on this one.
We're just looking at everything. Firstly, the top bit, the bottom of the league. The bottom of the league for a reason. At this stage of the season, 27, 28 games played, 26, 27, whatever it is. Old cliche, I know, but the table doesn't lie. They haven't got games in hand. It's not like they've played a lot less games than are, trying to catch up. They are in a dogfight, as they say. They've only won 6 games. They've lost 17. Let that sink in. 17 games they've lost. That's home and away between them. That's a lot of games to have lost in a season. Hence the reason why they're bottom of the league. They don't score many goals, 0.74, less than a goal a game. We score almost 2 goals a game. We can see where the problems are for both teams. It's conceding goals. We can keep clean sheets. I think there's more confidence now in the team, and I can see us going on a win for tomorrow. So looking at the stats, it should be an away win, but we all know what happens. So I'm looking at chances created as well. Neither here nor there in that, 1.5 to about just over 1. But it's the efficiency of us. We scored a lot more goals than they have. So I expect us to score goals tomorrow. Keep a clean sheet, we'll win the game.
Yeah. Sean, anything stick out or appeals to you on that? Or is it just what Sam's saying?
Yeah, I mean, I think Sam's really picked the bones out of the stats there. I mean, what's disturbing is that this time last year, our average goal scores was over 2.
Yeah.
And that's a big fall off. And obviously, the bigger fall off is in our goals conceded as well, because we were rattling 4s and 5s and just chipping away at adding to our goal difference and keeping clean sheets. This season we've had a nightmare in terms of goals conceded, and it shows in our goal difference. We've got the worst goal difference in the teams in the top 6. I'm sure we have.
Yeah,
and I just think we just need to take the points tomorrow, and let everything take themselves. I noticed that Newcastle are playing tonight.
Yep.
Against Nottingham Forest, so we've got, presumably we'll have to expect Newcastle are going to win that game. If it's the Forest that we played last week, who were absolutely dog poo.
Yeah.
So, it's it's going to be nip and tuck. Psychologically, it'll be so good to go third, even if it's there's the games in hand. But I just want a good end to the season, and then I can wave goodbye to Conte or the Turin Troll, as he's now known, and see us restart under Mr. Whoever.
Yeah. Pav, ironically, highest win 6-2, worst defeat 4-1. So against Leicester, it's 7-6 this season. It's a bit weird that, isn't it, how you can have your highest win and your worst defeat against the same team.
This is, it's Spurs. We're very unpredictable. This is why I'm a bit with tomorrow, because our record against Southampton is a bit iffy. And to be honest, if we look at their position as well, they're bottom of the table. They're going to be hungry for this win. So we need the points. It's as simple as that. There's nothing else. We need the points, okay? But we go on this cycle that we don't keep a clean sheet either. We're very bad with clean sheets. We concede quite quickly. If you look at the stat, conceding, average goals conceding per match, that's not great, is it? So
no, it's like Sean was saying, in the top six, we've got the worst record we've conceded the most by far. Right.
And what we don't want is James Ward-Prowse being given free kicks from 20 yards out.
Yeah, this is it.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So, 47 games played. Southampton have won 14. Spurs have won 25. Southampton have won 10 at home. We've won 18 at home. They've won 4 away and we've won 7 away. So importantly, really, it's in the 47 games, they've won 10 at home and we've won 7 away. Sean, again, we speak about this week in, week out, about stats and home records and away records and, how we've never lost at that ground or how we've never won at that ground. Again, today on this one as well. Does this mean anything? Or is it just top 4 versus bottom? Both need points for various reasons. Is it just whoever turns up tomorrow wins the game?
It's whoever takes their chances. You could have one of those games where you make their goalkeeper the man of the match, but James Ward-Prowse scores an absolute worldie from a free kick and they win 1-0, like they did at Chelsea recently. They had a very backs to the wall performance and managed to beat Chelsea. I mean, obviously Chelsea have since turned it around, it seems. That's that they've had a heavy defeat midweek at home, Southampton. So their confidence won't be great going into the game. So we've got to just, come out on the front foot like we did against Forest and, just get the points. Just get the points and get back up that M3.
Yeah. Sam, what are you saying?
As I said, I thought this is a pretty decent record against Southampton. Record depends on when we played them. What's the recent record in the last 5 games? Because obviously they've been a little bit up and down in terms of the league and stuff. But yes, decent record away from home as well. Again, I think people have already touched on it. It's who turns up. Do they turn up under pressure? Of course they will. But are there fans with them? Are their fans going to be, getting a bit nervy if they go 1-0 down? Are they going to stay with them? That's going to make a massive difference. If their crowd is how I've seen them previously and they stay with the team, then that's a good thing for them. And that's going to be a difficult thing for us. But if the crowd starts getting nervy, we get the first goal, which again is the most important thing about tomorrow's game. Getting that first goal. You get the first goal, that will really test them. Who's their manager now? They've had a change of manager, obviously, recently. Well, I say recently. Obviously,
2 changes of managers.
There we go. So again, it's not stable there. Do they know what their strongest team? Are the players motivated? Are some of them already, thinking about elsewhere going? Because it's going to be tough for them to actually make it out of this. Because it's just you do a couple of games on a trot and you could really put yourself into problems. So who turns up tomorrow? It should be us because we are away from home. We've seen that we can play well away from home. We're set up to play well away from home. We're set up to play a team that wants to attack, and we can defend and counter-attack there. It's all about, again, who's motivated from Spurs tomorrow. Is the manager motivated? It looks like he could be, even if it's to save his own skin in terms of his own brand, as Sean's mentioned before. And are the players motivated because they want to get that top 4 and they want to be in the Champions League next season? So I expect us to turn up.
Yeah. So if we look at this one, this is what you were talking about, Sam. Previous meetings. And 2020, Spurs beat Southampton 5-2. 2021, Spurs 2, Southampton 1. December 2022, Southampton 1, Spurs 1. 9th of February 2022, Spurs 2, Southampton 3. I was at that game as well. And then, obviously, August the 6th, 2022, Spurs 4, Southampton 1. Pav, last 5 games, we've won 1, 2, 3, drawn 1, lost 1. Again, does the last 5 games mean anything? Because looking at that, we're favourites, right?
Yeah. No, I don't think so. I mean, we've had a change in some of our team, and they don't mean anything, I'd say. It's all about the way that you go into the game. If we don't go into the game like we're turning up and we look like we're dead, then yeah, we're not going to win. But if we turn up with a mentality that we're going to win and the manager's on our side and we've got actually players that are, not looking dead again, we'll be fine. So no, they don't really make a difference. I mean, look, our last game, at our stadium, we won 4-1. And then at theirs, the last game we drew. Yeah, we drew. That was last year? No, no.
We drew 2022 December, last year.
Yeah, so no, I don't think it makes a difference at all. I think it's the way that we go into the game. I think if we go into the game with a strong mentality, I think we'll be fine.
I think we discussed this, Sam, Sean. Haven't we discussed this before, where we said the 4-1 when we beat them at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium was probably one of our better performances this season? Am I right, Sean?
Yeah, I mean, we went 1-0 down in that game, and it was really rather against the run of the play. And we got it back to 2-1 by half-time and then, closed out the game in the second half. But it probably was one of the better performances, but that was day 1 of the season. This is actually the opening day fixtures that are being played this weekend, for those of us that are in the league, rather than where we should be, which is facing Blackburn, but never mind, that's another story. It's, I mean, but that's at home. Away from home, there's been some shocking performances at St Mary's, wasteful in front of goal, comedy of errors, goals conceded. They're just one of those teams that are capable of pulling out a performance. I would hope that they are, their confidence is, we need to score first. This is Sam's mantra. And, we need to score first. If we get the first goal, then I think, we will win the game. But it's, I don't know whether they're going to play like they did under Hasenhüttl with, lots of green space behind their defence, which, plays into our hands. But yeah, we've just got, we've got to turn up and battle as much as they're going to do, so we need to be on the front foot and, take it to them.
Sam, last 2 visits to the St Mary's, we lost 5-2 and we've drawn 1-1.
I thought we won. I thought we haven't lost at their ground. We won 5-2 and we drew 1-1.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we had lost at St Mary's in the last couple of games we played them. And we've won the last 3, drawn 1 and lost 1. Our record's good
but 1-1 against Southampton at their place is a defeat for me.
Well, let me just try and explain where this comes into it. Right. August game, first game of the season, everybody's high. Not a problem. No real pressure on anybody to win the first game, unless if you're at home, you want to win your first game. February, partway through the season, Southampton probably safe. Were they? Probably yes. December again, nothing really to play for at that time. Nobody's up or down. April again, Southampton safe. We won 2-1, 5-2 back in September again, beginning of the season. They're under pressure now. We're coming into the season. part of the season where they need to win games. They're bottom of the league. Pressure's on them. They've changed manager, we've said twice. They haven't really got an identity. All they need to do is win games. That's a very difficult thing to do when you're a new manager and you want to try and build something within your team, because you just got to go from scratch. Like what Ten Hag had to do at Man United. He had to just say, bloody, I can't play where I want to play. I just need results here. So I'm going to do whatever I can. You experiment, you take chances, you take opportunities. They have to win tomorrow. It goes without saying. A draw is not going to do them anything. So the pressure's on them. The pressure is not on us to win. The pressure's on us to turn up and play well. We do that, we'll win the game. But we have to turn up. There's no excuse now. There's no games midweek. There's been nothing. They've had a week's preparation. We've got a better team than them. They're bottom of the league for a reason after 27 games. And they're under pressure now. None of them games, which I can see from the results previously, were any sort of real pressure situations other than your own pride to win a game of football. Now there is pressure.
And the thing is as well, like you said, their confidence probably been shot, right? They're going to turn up tomorrow at Saint Marys. They're going to be at home in front of their fans. And the last thing on their mind, what they'll be thinking is, are we going to get another defeat at home in front of our fans, right? Because that pressure is going to get even more intense. So for us, like you said, Sam, we've just got to turn up.
We get an early goal tomorrow within the first 15, 20 minutes. That game will be a different game because the crowd will be so nervous. If you keep the crowd in the game, I don't care where you play, it's always going to be against you. It really will be, unless, of course, you throw things away and you play really ridiculous, like we've seen at our ground. But there's real pressure on Southampton here. The dropping out of the Premier League is unthinkable for a team that's had many years in there because it's difficult to come back. We've seen Burnley, they're doing it now. But there's a lot of changes at Burnley that happen. Southampton would have to go through the same thing. So I keep saying, we turn up, we play well, we get the first goal, we get the goal in the first half, we're winning the game at half time, we'll win this game. We'll win this game.
Totally agree with you. Pav, form. So, Southampton lost to Brentford at home 2-0. We beat Forest 3-1. They drew with Man United 0-0, which I think was a good result away. We lost to Wolves 1-0 away. They beat Leicester 1-0. We beat Chelsea 2-0. They lost to Leeds 1-0. We beat West Ham 2-0. They beat Chelsea. We lost to Leicester. So, they've won 2, lost 2, drawn 1. We've won 3, lost 2. We don't draw games. So, looking on form, I mean, they've drawn against Man United and they drew again and they beat Chelsea, which for them, in the situation that they're in, a draw against Man United, I think, was fantastic for them. Especially the way Man United blitzed Liverpool. So, does the last 5 games again? Does that mean anything? Current form?
No, no, I don't think so. I mean, because it's away, like Sam said, it's going to be harder because it's away, and because they're at the bottom of the table, they're not going to want to let their fans down. Do you know what I mean? So they're going to want to get those goals in. They're going to want to fight for a spot in the Prem, right? So they're going to want to not lose, basically. So I think, you're looking at the table. Yeah, you're looking at their fixtures. Their last game, was that Brentford that they lost, right? But no, that was home. So no, I still think.
Pav, our last 2 away games, we've lost. Right, we've lost, and we're not apparently. And we'll come to that at the end of the slides. There's a bit of stats about away form. We've lost the last 2 away. They've won 1 and they've lost the last home game. Right, so if me as a neutral, away form for Spurs is not very good. I know Southampton are bottom of the league and they won 1 and drawn last 1. You'd be thinking, do you know what? Spurs don't like to travel away, so. And Southampton being bottom.
That's true.
No?
But it's just, like I said, it's just about the way that you're going to go into the game. If we can get a score, a good couple of goals in the first half, then you know what? I think that changes the game. But if we can't and we concede, that's it. The game completely changes. So it's all about the way that we're going to go in. Yeah, the stats say, we weren't great with our away games, but look at how we played in the first half. if we carry on playing that way tomorrow, then yeah, I'd say we are going to lose. So we need to change that.
I agree. I'm not going to ask you boys on this one because I'm going to move on because there's a couple of more.
I just think it's a little bit important about them games, though. Can I just say something very quickly?
Go for it.
Look how many goals they've scored. They've scored 2 goals in 5 games. They haven't got a goal scorer. You know, they won them games, 1-0 against Chelsea. Look at where Chelsea are. So Chelsea's not, you could say it's a good result, but Chelsea aren't the team that they've been. The one against Leicester, again, they're fighting around that sort of area anyway. So Leicester have had some more ups and downs. But Southampton have only scored 2 goals. No goal scorers. We have goal scorers.
Yeah.
They're conceding goals as well. We concede goals. But if you give me Harry Kane against, I don't even know who their forward is. I don't see if we keep defensively, no mistakes, stupid. That's what's cost us this season, mistakes. Really and truly. Bad mistakes. The football's not been great, but when you compound that with mistakes, it's even worse. They don't score goals. And if they were to score more than 1 goal tomorrow, I'd be very, very surprised. Very surprised.
They've only conceded 3 though, Sam, in them 5 games.
Yeah, because they've had to go back to real basics. They have to keep clean sheets. That's the mantra of anything when, you know, with them Sam Allardyce's come in and all those managers that want to try and stay in the league. What do we start with? Keep clean sheets. So again, how do they approach tomorrow's game? Are they going to bank up or are they going to say we're at home and we're going to go for it? Either way, they ain't going to be scoring a lot of goals tomorrow. Yeah,
I agree. Sean, I'm going to come to you on the next one, which is a blank screen. Do you like that? Not a lot. Right.
No, but I wanted to add that the Leicester game, I listened to the commentary.
Yeah.
When we were of that game, and Leicester absolutely battered them.
Yeah,
and it was Iheanacho he could have had a double hat trick, so they were lucky that night against Man United. Was that not when Casemiro got sent off?
It was.
Yeah, so they were down to 10 men. So they've rode their luck to get those 2 positive results. So we need to make sure that their run of luck runs out. You know,
tomorrow. Yeah, agree. Right, Sean. Forster in goal tomorrow?
You know, Conte's already confirmed that in the press conference yesterday.
Yeah, cool. Romero, Dyer, Langley. Right, I'm going to start with you, Sean, at the back, and I'm going to talk to you, Sam, and Pav about the middle and the front, right? We'll play strike it lucky. Anyway, right wing back, Pedro Porro, and left wing back, Ben Davies. I think this is the same 5 that played against Nottingham Forest. Do you think there'll be any changes? Does Emerson Royal get in? Does the forgotten man who plays on the left wing back, Croatian, does he get in? Or is it going to be this 5 at the back?
I would say 4 out of 5 are definitely confirmed.
Okay.
The only question is, does Conte think he needs the defensive stability of Royal against Southampton, or will he go with the sort of more progressive, in other words, the one I would choose, which is Pedro Porro?
Yeah.
You can see from last week's performance that Porro is fitting in. I mean, that cross for Kane's first goal was peachy.
Yeah.
And we haven't had that cross from that side of the field for quite a while this season. So yeah, it would be good to see that back line being picked tomorrow. I think Ben Davies is having a rejuvenated season playing at left wing back. I've never known him to be so aggressive and positive going forward. I do know that he had a cross in him. I seem to remember an absolute peach of a cross to Kane when we were playing at Wembley against Arsenal, where we won 1-0. And Kane scored just after half time, where half the stadium was still getting back from their deliberations at half time. So if that's the 5 he goes with tomorrow, I'll be pleased with that.
Sam, Pav, any complaints with that if he starts with them 5 at the back?
Not for me. I think he has to start with the same team. Why would you bring in somebody more defensive when the team you're playing against has only scored 2 goals in the last 5 games?
Because it's an Italian manager.
I get what you're saying, but that's what I'm saying. He doesn't make sense with what he does. So I can't second guess what he's doing. I'm just thinking from a common sense perspective. Why would you bring Royal in, who's more defensive, to play against a team that doesn't score goals? Particularly when Ben Davies, who's a defensive player, has been getting in the box. He was partly responsible for getting the ball to Porro because he was in the box for him to get the cross for Harry Kane to score the goal. So both of them have been involved with goals. That's what Conte wants more than anything else. His wing backs are the creators. He said that. He plays with 2 10s and he plays with the wide players in the wing back areas to have the width. Both those players have been doing that fantastically well in the last games I've seen them play. So why would you change? This is what I'm saying. He did that last time and played Porro in the wrong game. That was a mistake. I hope the Turin troll, TT as he's called, doesn't make the same mistakes again and doesn't start throwing in curveballs when he doesn't need to. This team, if they play well with the midfield that you're probably going to put up, will win the game because we've got goal scorers and players who want to score goals tomorrow.
Yeah. My midfield, Winks and Højbjerg, picks itself, doesn't it? Now, Pav, I know I'm going to pick you on this one because I know you want to talk about these because you don't want to. Front three? Would you go with that front three, Pav? Or are you going to change any of them?
No, I'd stick with them. The only issue with me is Son.
Yeah.
But who would you replace him with? Do you know what I mean?
Danjuma's available still.
Because, yeah, you have a point. Yeah, I know, and he needs some. Yeah. Tomorrow.
Or you could play Perisic.
Don't mention that name.
Are you out of your mind?
You're out of your
Perisic
mind.
plays up front for Croatia.
He does. But Pav,
I know.
I told you. He's the Croatian Gareth Bale. He's done this season. He's done his thing. He's had his World Cup. He's on the beach. He don't play much. If he plays, he's not playing to the level we've seen him play before the World Cup. I know that.
Yeah. Pav, so do you think Richarlison gets to keep his place instead of Kulusevski, or do you think Conte is going to do his madness again and bench Richarlison tomorrow and start with Kulu? Because last week, I think tactically, he did what he had to do, which was Richarlison's had a massive words after the AC Milan defeat. Conte didn't like what he said, and then Conte's backed it up by saying what he said about if he does well in training and I'll play him if he deserves to play, and then he goes and picks him to play as if to say, and we discussed this, Sam, didn't we? He's picked him to say, right, go on then. You're running your mouth. Now go on that pitch and show me what you can do. So do you think now tomorrow he will go back to Kulusevski to start and Richarlison on the bench, or does he deserve his place to start?
Well, if Conte puts Kulu instead of Richarlison, he's out of his mind. And this is Conte we're talking about. So I won't be surprised. I'm not going to lie to you. I won't be surprised if this lineup is completely different to what he plays tomorrow.
It can't be.
I won't be surprised at all.
It can't be.
It can't be. If he does that, he's doing a kamikaze madness. If he starts changing his team up, it's our madness because there's been no games that we played since last week. We've had a week to prepare. Yeah, Conte has always tried to play the same team.
Conte is an ultra defensive, cautious Italian Turin troll.
I'm having it. If he does that tomorrow, I'm not. What I'm gonna. I'll smash my TV. No, I'm not because it's expensive TV. I won't smash my TV, but I'll switch off.
Yeah, no, it's true. It's just like, if you look at the last game that we played and Richarlison, the way he played, he deserves that spot at the moment. Kulu is not turning up. Kulu's just gone. His season's done now. I can't see him getting back onto form anytime this season now. I think he's done, right? I think Richarlison deserves that spot. And I think that he will give the game some sort of creativity if he's there. Okay, and if Conte doesn't and he places Kulu, he's going to regret it. That's what I'm saying. He's going to regret it.
Right. So this is the team we're expecting. The reason I put this team out is because it's a winning team from last week. And I always say never change your winning team unless you've got injuries or you're forced to making tactical decisions. Or
you play the Champions game midweek. That's the only reason you make changes.
Yes.
These are professional footballers. They've had a week. They're supposed to be one of the fittest teams in the league after all the pre-season. If he starts tinkering, wow, I'll be very surprised if we don't see that starting 11. I'm just slightly disagree with you about Kulusevski, Pav. I think that Kulusevski will come back. I just think he's probably had a little bit of drop off from form because of the, well, you know what I mean? Players have played a lot of games, and for me, Richarlison has got a point to prove. Conte is going to say, hold on, do it again. Son scored last week. He probably could have got another one. He had a really good opportunity to get his 100th goal. Again, he's now motivated. Does he want to get his 100th goal? What better way to do it than the next game? The next game is tomorrow. Yeah. These players have got no excuse. If we come on the reaction show tomorrow and we've lost, depending on how we've lost, I'll be upset about the loss. But if we've played poorly and lost, I'll be absolutely fuming.
Agree. Yeah. So that's the potential team that we're all hoping will be. Right. Just a few little... What happened?
He needs his say, man. Let the man have his say.
You want to have a say? Go on then, Sean.
I'm sorry. What did Son do last week?
What's Son done all season?
I mean, the fact that he seems to be Conte's anointed son-in-law seems to win him so many games which he hasn't totally deserved. And I'm sorry, I'm in Team Danjuma. I want to see this boy.
Yeah,
I think he's got something to prove as well. I think on Kulu, I think he picked up a really bad injury just after the World Cup. Remember, he didn't go to the World Cup, so he was back here training or whatever. And I think that injury is still, a bit like when Doherty had his Matty Cash moment. It took him quite a while to get over that injury. I wonder whether that's the same with Kulu at the minute. He's not pinging the ball in the net. He's overhitting his crosses. And I wonder whether it's, he's not confident in his body at the moment.
Let's not also forget, Sean, as well. This is a player that the Turin Troll brought in. So a lot of these players might be thinking about their future already. If they know, as I think they do know, that he's not going to be here, some of these might have what's going to happen with me? Do I move on? Do I stay? His mind might be elsewhere for some of these players. And I'm thinking this is why the way Conte body language was last week and showed, right, let's just do it. If he can bring all these players along in that same manner, we'll do all right the rest of this season, in my opinion. There's some tough games, but we shouldn't have...
Kulu hasn't been bought yet, has he? He's still technically on loan to us.
Yes. I know Bentancur has been bought, but not Kulu yet. Yeah. Right.
Although it's supposed to be almost wrapped up in terms of the loan deal. There must be some sort of leeway in there because, he must have an out, some sort of out. I don't know why, but yeah.
The only wrapped up he's got is everybody else's houses who's got blankets around them wrapped up because of the gas and electric prices going up. That's the only wrap up he's got. Right. Some stats for you here. Spurs have lost their previous 4 away games in all competitions, failing to score in each of the last 3. The last time we lost 4 consecutive away fixtures without scoring was during a run of 5 between November 1982 and January 1983.
And that was a good team.
Yes, it was. Spurs have won 8 of their past 10 Saturday 3 p.m. kickoffs in the league, losing only to Leicester and Wolves this season.
Oh, Wolves, don't remind me.
Yeah. Kane's 14 most recent goals for Spurs in all competitions have been scored in London, with the last goal outside the capital coming versus Brighton October the 8th.
Doesn't Brighton qualify as Hackney by the Sea, though? It's so many Londoners live there.
Yeah. And I think, Sam, you've already picked up and touched up on this one. Son Heung-min needs 1 goal to become the first Asian player to net 100 in the Premier League. So like I was saying to you before about the away, the first one says it all. Lost the previous 4 away games in all competitions. So
including to Sheffield United reserves.
Yep.
So can I put it out there?
Go for it.
Who would you want to play on your next game away?
Not Southampton,
who don't score more than 1 goal a game, or Manchester City? I know where I'd want to play. I'd handpick this team.
So Man City every time.
I agree with you, Sean.
That's a very good point because we beat them.
Yeah,
that was the best example I put there.
Exactly.
Chelsea then. Chelsea's one. You don't want to be playing teams like that. This is the team I'd want to play if we had a poor record away from home. This is exactly the team I would handpick to play. 0.74, whatever it is, goals per game. 2 goals in the last 5. Sean's already said it. They got lucky against Leicester. This team ain't been playing well. They ain't been playing well. 2 manager changes. They ain't really sure what they're doing in terms of their first 11. I don't know if they've got everything sorted out. It will be very lucky if they win tomorrow. We should be winning tomorrow. Let's get on to the scores. I want to do.
We're going to go through the comments because there's a lot of people patiently been writing comments in the section. So let's quickly go through them. Let's have a look. Kevin Murray, good evening. Sam, can I just say it's St. Patrick's Day. I'm dancing with 3 American girls looking for their heritage. They wouldn't know Spurs if you landing them in Bruce.
Typical Kevin, you never invited me.
I know, innit? Let's have a look. What else is there? Saying he wants his home. Fifth floor today. Use the class. Sean. David Clark is saying hi from Leicester. Christ, have you seen our record against Southampton? We've just been through that.
Why's everybody so scared about the record? We ain't lost them in the last 2 away games. We beat them 5-2 and we drew 1-1. I can't see it.
Yeah. Juicy saying here, need a win or else.
They've won more than us, though, Sam, at their place.
Well, yeah, at their place, I would expect that, but we've won 7
away.
What?
You'd expect that against Southampton, perennial mid-table, bottom-table team.
At the moment, they are, but what I'm saying is, this is what I'm saying.
Hold on, they've not exactly rattled the top of the table, have they?
Yeah, we haven't lost to them. So the last 2 times we played them, we didn't lose. So that's my point. We drew and we beat them 5-2. So they can't be that good. Just saying.
Juice Nutsy saying here, need a win, else international break will be a media frenzy.
It'll be a media frenzy anyway.
I know. David Clark is saying here, with there being an international break, there is no need to make any changes. We said 100%. That, but this is Conte we're talking about. Matthew Bassett, good evening. Evening all. David Clark is saying here, Royal has only had 2 training sessions with a hip knock, so he will be on the bench. Matthew Bassett, big up everyone on the show.
That's our visitor from elsewhere.
Across the pond sports talk.
Hold on. Let me address this person. In the comments.
This one.
Saint Patty's Day. Saint Patty. You must be an American because no male called Patrick is ever called Patty. It's only women that are called Patty. So stick that in your pipe, you gooner. And what about the Arsenal? Shame about this. Oh, we're going to win the Europa League.
Okay, we're not talking about
you, Marcus Edwards.
He's gone.
Southampton drew with Arsenal, so football isn't played on paper, so don't count your chickens. Matthew Bassett is saying, how many points are you getting realistically from your remaining fixtures? We'll do a show on that one. Okay, look at this guy. That's right. Keep showing Red London on the greatest club up there. Whatever.
Yankee ruining St. Patrick's Day for the rest of the world.
Hang on. We're going to beat Southampton tomorrow. Kevin Murray.
He's chatting to 3 women from Wyoming.
I know.
He's only got one eye on the game.
Prowse always does well against us. Mr. Romero, Mr. Dyer will give away free kicks near our goal. That's the only concern. Like I think you've mentioned that before, aren't we? Any free kicks that they're going to get.
Need to crock him on the halfway line.
Yeah, that's the problem, isn't it? That's the problem.
Just don't give away free kicks in dangerous areas. You can defend without having to tackle. You just, like I said, you know what he's about. So it'd be silly unless it's a real desperate lunge. I don't know. But even then, I'd almost let him through to have that shot because from a dead position, he's lethal. I've not seen him score that many goals out of field. I don't know. I just don't. Why James Ward-Prowse gets this? Which James Ward-Prowse? He only takes free kicks. Well, he don't do anything else that brilliantly, in my opinion.
I've heard he's got a low handicap on the golf course.
Sean, the Sith Lord's on fire.
Isn't he? Matthew Bassett, why do Spurs pick managers who ain't Spurs type of managers? Good question. Pav, what do you think? Why do Spurs pick managers that are not Spurs type of managers?
Ask Levy.
Yeah, we don't pick the manager. It's the board known that picks the manager. Levy out, by the way.
Davy Clark, Richarlison first league goal tomorrow. I think we said that last week. He should have got it last week.
That was a travesty last week.
It was. Travesty. When the feeling's gone and you can't
No,
go,
that's
it's a
tragedy.
That's
a tragedy as well.
That was. Goodness,
David Clark, last 5 games.
Where are you taking the show today, fam? Damn.
I know. Toxic headshot. Good evening. Hi panel.
Hi,
and then
Toxic.
the next one. Are you ready? Nine from the halfway line. What is it with them? What is it with them? And long distance goals. Honestly, I don't know what it is with them. Matthew Bassett is saying here, Diogo Costa to replace Loris in the summer. Yes or no?
Who?
Costa. He's the one that.
Last I saw, he was being stretched off against Wolves.
No. He's the goalkeeper. He was in the World Cup as well. He had a really good World Cup.
Who
Who does he play for?
Diogo Costa plays. Isn't he Porto keeper? Isn't he the Porto keeper?
We need to replace Luis. That's 100%. But
Diego Costa plays for. He's 23 years old and he plays for. No idea. Porto, FC Porto. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Juiceness misses the Royal. Which one? Edward? Harry?
I don't miss any of them ones.
Yeah. Okay.
Put
yeah.
them on universal credit. The whole lot of them.
Toxic Hexor, I just hope we don't sit back. We need to attack Southampton.
150%.
I agree.
Pav, this is one for you. Richie on the left, Danjuma on the right, and the little one said, "Roll over."
Roll over. and Kane on the bench. Yeah. That'll be Conti for you. That's why we lost the FA Cup tie.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Bye, Antonio.
David Clark is saying Southampton needs physicality shown against them, and they will crack early.
Yeah, but don't show that comment to Romero, David.
I know.
He'll just try and crock them, on the edge of our box.
Sean is calm today. Need to dislike today's stream.
Yes, jeez.
And then Sean at level 6.
Yeah, see, look.
Level 6 out of what, though?
I give the people out of 10, I think.
Yeah.
I give the people what they want. But I give Jews nuts.
Beating Newcastle.
Oh,
Too early.
I know. Right. Thank you, everyone, for your comments in there. Now, what I need everyone to do, please, is post your predictions for tomorrow's game. And I will start with Mr. Hurley. What is your prediction for tomorrow's game?
Tottenham Hotspur are going to take Southampton to the cleaners. Fired up by a week of listening to the little dwarf from Turin. I think they're going to win 4-1.
I wasn't going to speak too far off. Yeah.
Kane is going to score a couple. Sonny will come off the bench, hopefully, and get his 100th goal. And I'm hoping that Højbjerg scores again.
4-1. Oh, wow. That's good. Jews Nuts. Saints 1, Spurs 3. Kane, Dyer and Davis. Come on, you Spurs.
Oh, I like that.
Pav, what are you saying? What are you saying for tomorrow?
I'm going to go with a Spurs win. 3-1. I agree with Jews Nuts, but not who's going to score, though, okay? I don't agree with Dyer and Davis. I think
I'm not sure
Kane, I think Richie's going to score. I think 2 Kane goals, and I think Richie's going to score 1.
Okay.
If he starts, that is.
Richie hat-trick incoming.
You know what? Yeah. David Clark, Forest 1, Spurs 2. Hey? No, we beat them 3-1, David. What's wrong with you, David? We're playing Southampton tomorrow.
He's lost it. He's lost it.
Clark. David Clark. Anyway, B.T saying 2-1 to Spurs. Mr. Sam, Spurs for life. San Antonio, what are you saying?
I'm confident. I'm confident, not because we played really well all season, but just because I've seen the body language of Conte for the last game. And also, I haven't seen the press conference, but I heard he's pretty positive in terms of how he is. I think them front three will start tomorrow, and I think at least two of them front three will score, if not all of them. because they're all motivated. Richarlison's motivated because he's got to prove his point. Kane, we know what Kane's about. He's a numbers man, so he's going to be going for it. And Son, 100th goal. I think he probably should have got it last week when he missed that golden opportunity. And I don't think he'll be in the same mindset again. I think if he relaxes, he'll have a good game. It's whether or not, it's whether or not Conte pulls any of these mad kamikaze ones and just says, okay, I'm playing Sanchez, I'm playing Tanganga, and I'm just going to play nobody. If he starts playing stupidness like that, then we can't predict anything. If we go by what we've seen and we go by the team that we think, we should have a more structured approach, and I think we'll win, provided we get that first goal. I don't think we're too good at coming back at this moment in time, although we proved we can do. But I don't want to see us trying to come back tomorrow, particularly away from home.
Of course, you know what's going to happen, really? We're going to go 1-0 up after 15 minutes, and then he's going to start pulling subs off. I'm
telling you.
All the defenders on just to hold it off. Because he is Italian down to his little bloody toenail.
He want to not. He want to not.
What was your prediction?
Oh, sorry. Scoreline 3-1.
3-1.
Not 3-1s.
3-1.
I'm going with a goal for all of the front three: Son, Kane, and Richarlison.
Cool. Toxic Headshot, Kane, Sonny, and Poro, 3-0 to Spurs. Toxic Headshot is saying Poro from the halfway line is incoming. I doubt it. Right. I think we've got a guy who can take free kicks now in Poro, and I've seen some of his free kicks.
Well, we all thought that till last week.
I was just about to say until last week. But do you know what? I still think as long as we keep Kane and Dyer away from the free kicks, give him opportunities, I think he'll score. However, tomorrow, I think we're going to put them to the slaughter. And I think we need confidence as well. And I think 4-0 to Spurs. My only concern is like what people they've said in the comments. If we get any given stupid free kicks away, which Dyer and Romero can do and will do at some point in a dangerous positions, then Proud will score.
However, not even just free kicks though; it's corners as well. He's dangerous from corners. He puts the ball. Anybody that can take a good corner, you just have to have the right movement. And like I said, it's usually going to be a pressure on your goal. So we do need to be mindful from any set piece that we give away tomorrow. That's why corners have to be kept to a minimum, and free kicks in and around that 20 to 18-yard box. Just hope that we don't do stupidness tomorrow. That's all I hope.
So I'm going 4-0, and I'm going with what, like you said, Kane. Richarlison will get his first. Son will get his 100th goal. And I've got a funny feeling Poro's going to score. So 4-0 to Spurs. What's David Clark laughing at? Where's David Clark laughing at? David?
He's laughing at you, Sid.
What did I do?
You just said 4-0.
Oh, 4-0. Yeah, man.
That's why he's laughing.
I said 4-1, but at least David would accept that it's a possibility that we'll concede a goal.
Yeah, we're not going to.
I think we'll concede a goal tomorrow. I think we'll concede tomorrow.
I don't think we will. I don't think. Confidence. Have some faith. Anyway, thank you very much, everybody, in the comment sections for all your lovely comments, and thank you for joining us. Make sure you smash that like button. Hopefully, you're all following us anyway. And as always, love your comments. Thank you, Pav. Thank you, Sean. Thank you, Mr. Sam. We will see everyone tomorrow for the reaction show.
What time are we doing it?
Tomorrow, what time do you want to do it?
We'll be doing it straight after the game.
5:15? 5:05?
I'm cool with that.
Yeah. Pav, Sean?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I'll be watching it here, so yeah.
Cool. Tune in tomorrow then around 5:05 for the reaction show, and I'll be laughing because we've won 4-0. I don't care. We win. As long as we win the game, I'm not bothered. Thank you very much. We will see you tomorrow. Have a lovely evening. And come on, you Spurs!
Come on, you Spurs!